Welcome back, everybody, to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter to the daily fails, the meme reviews, the software releases. Give us a like and subscribe. Okay, here we go. Let's kick it off with the numbers.
Uploaded dashboard.
So right now we are currently at a block height of 658,522. Current Bitcoin price 19,192. Yep. Here for Satoshi. Chain rewrite days 597, and the total lightning capacity 1046.62 BTC.
Awesome. Numbers are looking good. For anyone that doesn't know, Satoshi the chicken comes out to coup every time the price of Bitcoin is higher than the night before's recording. So Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. I wish I had kept my 1,700 BTC at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents. Now that they're $8. May 16th, 2011. Oh.
Dude.
All right. So, I mean, if this isn't a hodl lesson, like this is a total fail, right? I mean, this poor guy. And of course, right back then, you know, you could have the argument that, hey, you know, really back then, you know, Bitcoin, you know, was on much lesser sure footing than it is today. And the argument could be made that, okay, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But isn't that kind of also the reason to hold it? Considering you got 1,700 at, you know, like at 6 cents?
I absolutely agree. And like, yesterday's Easter egg completely agrees with you, man. Satoshi said in his own words, quote, you know, it just makes sense to get some just in case, right? Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, but like, he's absolutely right, man. Just, what do you have to lose?
Like,
right?
I mean,
what do you
really,
have to lose?
and not only that, but it was all, you know, it was all brand new. It had just started, and I just, anyways, this is just so cringe. I'm trying to figure out, did he actually buy them at 6 cents? Yes, I think that's what that tweet says, that he bought them at 6 cents. So really, that's a total fail. So to the noobs out there, you know, that are just starting to hodl, like, look, okay, part of Bitcoin culture, okay, and part of Bitcoin, forget about the culture, but, you know, part of, we'll say, Bitcoin's activity is that it's volatile, okay, and as a result, you know, we are going to see it, you know, go up and down. But you know, if you actually did your research and you have the, you know, the proper level of conviction in what it is that you're investing in, or what it is that you're, you know, you're buying into, then there really should be no reason for you to get scared out and, you know, end up selling at ridiculously low prices.
Absolutely. It for two other reasons, Phil. Like, where else are you going to put your cash? That's number one. Is it going to outperform Bitcoin? Number two. And I said two, but three, basically, like, guys, like, I completely forgot what number three was. Anyways.
No. I mean, it's just so cringe.
No, yeah, this is
time and time again. You know, look at
this was number three was. Okay, so basically, look, the halving cycle decreases the amount of volatility every cycle that hits. Right. So this up and down motion that you saw, especially in the beginning, right? Like that movement from 6 to 30 cents, that's wild. Right. And that happened over a short period of time. For that multiples to happen today, you know, it'd be much more difficult and the numbers would be so much greater. Right. So that's just to keep in mind. And also, you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. Right.
No, exactly. You could just buy Satoshis.
You could just buy Satoshi, which you should be using as your unit account. Pro tip by now, right? It's just, everyone should be using Satoshis as a unit account. I started doing it on the wallets that allow me. So yeah, so Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
Okay, let's check it out. It's brought to us by Bitcoin Marcus. He's been on fire lately. Let's see. Let's put the volume.
Oh yeah,
up.
It's a good one. I was just going to mention Keith.
Yes.
Modano, it's happening.
He sold. Bumpy.
Dude, he's sour about it too, huh? Just blocking people left and right, dude.
You know what? That's what I was going to mention as part of the fail, right? Is that since he sold, Bitcoin's up 88%. So he's just
fucking idiot.
I mean, like, this guy's sitting here trying to sell people a financial strategy, and in the meantime, he goes and dumps BTC and it goes up 88%. Like, dude, I wouldn't fucking hand you a bag of beans.
Nope. No. Could you imagine what he's doing? Whatever. Stay in your lane, bro. What are you doing? So I'm gonna give that a 9.
Okay.
What about you, Phil?
I'm going with an 8.
Okay.
It's still good, you know, but I just, it's because you really have to be in BTC to get that one. You know, because Keith McCullough isn't really, that joke in particular isn't relevant outside. And yeah, you know, and even the quad 4 mockery.
It made me laugh, right? It made me laugh,
Yeah.
and you know, that's why I gave it a 9. It was very impulsive, but
cool.
Dude, that just goes to show, like if I would have listened to anybody, right, that's told me to sell my BTC, I'm talking about financial people, my parents, my sisters, friends. I'm telling you that I wouldn't have as much BTC as I have today, right? So it's a very simple strategy. Just hold. Don't listen to anybody. Just keep it, right? And that's it. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. You don't have to listen to buy any course and buy anything. You just buy Bitcoin and listen to Simply Bitcoin. It's free.
You know what? Had I have not shitcoined when I first came in 2017, right? I'd have way more Bitcoin today than I do.
Yep.
So
I agree.
But there's a lesson in there.
Yeah, and I call that
You know?
the tuition cost. That's the part of the tuition cost. Time for it.
The Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, so Daily News is brought to us by Simon Dixon. Again, shout out to our buddy DVT-BTC. And it's not really a piece of news. I mean, it is a piece of news. I guess it's a milestone.
It's newsworthy.
It is newsworthy. Bitcoin has officially become the 6th biggest currency in the world, right? That's crazy. Behind the Indian rupee, Japanese yuan, or Chinese yuan, yen, whatever, euro, and USD. That's pretty insane. Absolutely. We definitely want to get to that number 1 spot. But that's pretty crazy for a coin or a corn that didn't exist 11 years ago, 12 years ago. That's pretty insane. And some more bullish news. It's all bullishness today. Corporate Bitcoin frenzy companies hold more than $15.3 billion in Bitcoin, right? And there's 2 components. This is reported from the Clark Moody dashboard, which we always pull up in the beginning of the show.
Maybe we'll add this.
Companies hold 842,000 Bitcoin, or 4.5% of the total Bitcoin supply. I like that number. It's not very big, right? And guys, there's a really big component to this, right? There's not enough to go around, right? So PayPal and Square's app, just by selling it to retail, is buying 100% of the newly mined Bitcoin. I don't know why they use Bitcoins. I don't like the plural. I just say Bitcoin. So that's pretty crazy. You know, it makes sense with the price how it is right now. We don't really talk about price, but it's just a complete supply shock. What happens when all these companies figure out what Michael Saylor has been woke enough to figure out, right?
Yep.
Like, what happens, right? There's not enough to go around. And what happened? Remember, guys, that only about, it's estimated, right, about 4 million Bitcoins are lost. It might be more than that, right? So it's a very conservative estimate. It takes a whole bunch of supply off the table, right? And it's also estimated that only about 3 million Bitcoin are actively being traded, right? So the rest are just being held, right? So that's only a very short supply of Bitcoin that's actually being available to the market. And the fact that only 842,000 are owned by companies is a really good indication that that's true, right? So it's super bullish, Phil. I'm super bullish about it, at least.
I mean, look, obviously this is, you know, this is very bullish news. PayPal, anyways, I know that they're, you know, buying up what they're buying up, but I still don't like them. So.
No,
I'm just going to keep repeating that because I hate them. But look, you know, in the grand scheme of things, okay, like there's definitely not enough Bitcoin to go around. The fact that so few corporations today hold Bitcoin and they already own 4%, that right there, you know, so there's that piece right there that tells you that there's not enough to go around. And just a comment about the Simon Dixon piece, where Bitcoin's in 6th place, we're eating all the fiat.
Yep.
I mean, you know, every minute that Bitcoin lives, every block that it churns out, it comes one step closer to eating the next fiat right over, you know, to the left of it or to the right.
Completely agree. And what happened, and this is a good representation of this, is Cashapp's revenue. I think it was $1.63 billion in the last quarter just by selling Bitcoin. So I think that a lot of people are getting, and Swan Bitcoin does an amazing job of this. Like, what happens when people get into the habit of just instead of saving in dollars, start saving in Bitcoin, right? What happens, right? And you start, you know, and you're even more woke than that, withdraw to your own hardware wallet, right? Preferably a ColdCard, and you're more woke than that even more, and you run your own node, right? Yeah. So I feel like a larger percentage of the population, you know, just keep getting more orange pilled over time.
Yeah, man.
Spreading the message. And Phil, there was a software release today and a disclosure.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's go check it out. Software releases. Oh, yeah, man. Okay, so Bisq version 1.5.0 was released. That's going to be in the show notes. And the disclosure that Nico is referring to is the ColdCard attack disclosed, where the user can be tricked into signing a Bitcoin transaction while in testnet mode. So if you don't use testnet, then you are not vulnerable. The link to the blog from CoinKite is going to be in the show notes as well down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. You know, we just have to tell you guys the disclosures. You know, it's just very good to keep your eye on, you know, what's going on, especially, you know, with the hardware that's holding your coin. And guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Simply Bitcoin. I'm your host, Nico, your other host, Coin Icarus /Phil, and we'll see you tomorrow for another episode.